Hello, everyone. We are live on time this time. That's crazy. Not much has happened since we last talked, really, but some stuff will be happening very soon. Within like the next week and a half, 2 weeks, we'll have BAFTA awards and SAG awards within like the same week of each other. Not next week, but the following week. So we decided this week we'll talk about BAFTAs because that's coming up first. Next week we'll talk about SAG and all that stuff. BAFTAs is the main thing we're focusing on today. Hence the background, I got to show our British pride. And we'll quickly touch on stuff like DGA and ADG, but those aren't like the hardest stuff to predict at this moment, I would say. BAFTAs, I would also say maybe not too hard to predict. What are you thinking about the BAFTAs before we get into the specific categories?
Yeah, I mean, when your top two contenders for the Oscars are either European films or films from British filmmakers,
yeah,
I mean, I think then as far as the variance between the Oscars and the BAFTAs, which sometimes has been happening more recently in the past like 15 years.
Yeah.
I think that kind of simmers down the possible shocks. But listen, they obviously were shocking in some of their nominations, and of course with the way they vote, it doesn't always translate. How does Killers of the Flower Moon do so well, but then Lily Gladstone misses out? So we can't. It's not always the tea leaves add up in the places that we think. But I do think this is probably a year, given the films we have, that it's maybe easier to predict more than others.
Yes,
no Austin Butlers, I think, this year, where it's just out of nowhere something happens and makes us reconsider.
Barry Keoghan's winning supporting actor last year. Yeah. Hello to everyone joining us. We have some fun stuff to talk about. We're talking about BAFTAs, so let us get into it. Let me pop up Gold Derby. I have not even yet predicted this stuff on Gold Derby. But I mean, I imagine we'll probably both agree with what ends up being the odds. So let us pull it up. Come on. There we go. And do this. There we go. Okay.
Woo.
BAFTAs, where are they? I know. Total magic. We're magicians here. BAFTA awards. Let us start with Best Picture.
Fill out Jack's Gold Derby with us.
Yeah, let's fill out some Gold Derby together, guys. I mean, I think we all agree Oppenheimer is winning here. I would agree that. What would you put at number 2, Anatomy or Poor Things?
It's funny. Once it comes to the winners, I don't put the nominees. I put number 1 and move on for my Gold Derby. It makes it look very nice too.
It does.
Yeah, I think it's. I might put them in the order that they're in, honestly. I think it's because I think you would think Anatomy of a Fall, Poor Things, those are a branch above Holdovers and Killers, and Holdovers getting all 3 members of its ensemble in here and being the only place to do that, really, I believe, like in the main categories. I know Critics' Choice also nominated Dominic Sessa, but not in supporting actor. So yeah, I think that in that case, Holdovers is probably stronger than Killers, but Oppenheimer's going to win.
Yeah, Oppenheimer's winning. Yeah, I'll agree with this order as well. I think this makes
the thing about Oppenheimer is that, yes, it's an American movie, but A, it's from a British filmmaker, and B, it has such a, like, it's so negative on the American response to the bomb. Like, it's I mean, I think that appeals to people worldwide. Exactly. The fact that this movie got approved to play in Japan says all that you need about whether this movie plays outside of America. So I think this will do very well.
Yeah, they love their World War movies, as we've seen in a lot of the past winners. All Quiet and not Dunkirk. 1917.
1917. And I also think that we talk about the overdue factor with Nolan with the Oscar. It's not different across the pond. They're probably a voting body that also feels this is a chance to award Nolan in his career. It's what happens when you're I really do feel that we went from Hitchcock to Spielberg to Nolan. Like, that is a fluid trajectory as far as Hollywood filmmakers. And this is his Schindler's List. This is his big serious movie. This is kind of Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan combined. So, because I think Saving Private Ryan's more rewatchable than Schindler's List for people.
Oh, for sure. So, yeah, Schindler's List, one and done. Maybe another time, time in the future. But yeah,
it's a great film.
Oppenheimer's very rewatchable. It's very well paced.
11 times.
11. That's insane. That's 33 hours and counting.
Listen, 11. Those were 11 invites too, and I wasn't going to say no.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So yeah, not too much to discuss there. Director, I don't think there'll also be a ton to discuss either. Oh, guess what? We were just talking about him. Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Never won here before. He's British. Obviously, that helps. They love the film. He's sweeping the entire season. And yeah, I guess number 2 would maybe be, I would maybe put Justine at number 2. And then I'd put Jonathan Glazer. And then I'd put Andrew Hay above Alexander Payne just because that's my personal bias sneaking through. And Bradley Cooper, I still don't understand how he got in here, but at number 6 spot right there.
Yeah, counting out last year, which last year, of course, they just did not seem to get on board with Everything Everywhere. Edward Berger won this award, as we said. You would have to go back to Richard Linklater for Boyhood for the last time the Oscars. Oh, excuse me, Sam Mendes for 1917.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But like very like Damien Chazelle wins, Inarritu wins for The Revenant, Alfonso Cuarón, Jane Campion, Chloe Zhao. Like they tend to, as far as directing goes, I think the track record with directing is more on par with the Oscars than picture.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure.
I think Nolan is definitely very likely, but I think that top 3 is very strong. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if Triet or Glazer managed an upset. I think Anatomy of a Fall has been really building momentum.
Yeah, I think it's like a top really 3 picture contender, in my opinion.
At this point, I think yeah, because it could win screenplay. And I mean, I know some people are predicting a Sandra Hüller surprise.
Even if she wins here, which we'll get, is that the next category? We might as well.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it's the next one. Let's transition to it. I am, as we see with the top 2 here, I don't know who to pick because
it
could just be an Emma Stone sweep, but Sandra Hüller double nominated here. They'd love Anatomy of a Fall. I think it didn't really miss anything it needed to get. I mean, Milo wasn't even shortlisted, so that wasn't going to happen, or longlisted, whatever they call it. Whereas Poor Things did miss director, but I mean, you also have to factor in all the jury stuff here, so I don't know how much you can read into the snubbage and how much the snubs portray how much they like the films. But it's between these 2. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be anyone else. Just because everything in this ceremony seems so predictable so far, I'm kind of tempted to go with Sandra Hüller as the upset. I would love it. She's my favorite performance of the year. But I don't know. I'm wobbling. What?
And do you mind just going back for director for a quick second? I just want to see the nominees there.
They are these folks right here.
Yeah, Yorgos not being in there, it's a little ding to Poor Things.
In a European voting body, yeah.
And Anatomy of a Fall got Justine in there. So I think if you're like, that's just a sign that they maybe like Anatomy of a Fall more. And also Emma Stone won here for La La Land, so she's also been taken care of. So I'll go with you. I think that we got to give some spice to this race. And you know, if Lily wins SAG and Sandra wins BAFTA, and then Emma won Critics' Choice, like that is a feasible thing where the race, like 2020, was so spread out because there were so many wonderful contenders, and then you just got to go with whatever precursor you think fits. So yeah, I think I'll go Sandra, and then Emma, and then
it doesn't really matter after that.
The list.
It's one of those 2. Yeah.
Maybe after the Grammys, Fantasia's up a notch because that was quite the performance.
It was a good performance. It was.
Yeah.
Aaron has a good little point here that the London Film Critics Circle has a good track record of lining up with BAFTAs, and they did give it to Emma Stone. I'm flipping back and forth. Usually in the acting categories, when there's an upset, it's usually because the eventual Oscar winner isn't in the category, excluding last year. Last year, I think those acting upsets were mostly just because they didn't love Everything Everywhere as much as everyone else seemed to.
It should be noted, though, that Isabelle Huppert was not nominated the year that Emma Stone won for La La Land at the BAFTAs. And had she been nominated, I do think there was maybe a stronger, like it was a thing if she was in, then she had a real strong chance to win. Because that's what I like in this too. The same way that people were predicting Isabelle Huppert might have upset that year for Elle. So that's the thing. It's like if Emma had beaten Isabelle at the BAFTAs, then we could be like, okay, these type of like Emma seems to do well against the European older natives. But I don't know. I think I feel like we got to find something that is, or maybe we don't. It could be Emma Stone, and she's definitely it's a magical performance. It's
Because I don't
really
think Sandra wins the Oscar, even if she wins the BAFTA, because
no.
you kind of need a SAG nomination to win the Oscar. I can't think of someone who didn't win the Oscar who won the Best Actress Oscar without a SAG nomination.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone who's done that. So even if she wins here, I don't think she's going to win the Oscar. And usually, excluding like weird years, most of the time, if you look at the BAFTA acting winner track record, they usually line up pretty well with the Oscars. I think the last few years post-COVID, they have been more off, but pre-COVID, they are almost always like pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm tempted to do Stone, but for now, we'll have to see if I pick another category to do a surprise, and then I'll go back and maybe switch to Emma Stone here. But for now, I'll have this be our surprise category.
Yeah.
And then plopping everyone else down here. Vivian Oparah, an inspired nomination for Riley, and I'm happy she got love somewhere.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we'll talk it. We'll do our little, because we don't really cover it, but we'll do some Grammy reactions at the end of the show.
yes, we can talk about some of the Grammy stuff that went on.
Since it does involve the Oscar race.
It does, and some people involved there. Best Actor. This is another tricky one because they did love The Holdovers, but they loved Oppenheimer more, so I feel like it's just going to be Cillian. I also don't understand how, and Goldberg at the Oscars for the Oscar predictions, Paul Giamatti is #1. I don't understand where this whole Paul Giamatti wave has come from. He's won the Critics' Choice. That's it. I mean, it's not like that's a huge indicator. I think I would need to see him win this to actually think he could win the Oscar.
I think if he wins SAG, he has a real strong chance, and then of course this would be gravy. But I don't know. I really do think that I don't understand. It feels very much like Casey Affleck and Denzel Washington. Denzel's the shinier performance, the newer performance, but everybody already saw Cillian and fell in love with Cillian, and there's so much respect for what he pulled off. And especially now that Bradley is not competing, I don't think the biopic thing hurts him. Also, we've seen in years where like Olivia Colman is playing an original character in Lost Daughter, going up against a lot of biopic people. Jessica Chastain still wins for Eyes of Tammy Faye. I'm with you. I'm gonna stick by Cillian until I'm told I can't, because I think he gives the best performance of the year. He definitely gives the most difficult performance of the year. I think it's up there with what Emma Stone achieves, because I think Emma Stone at least has the benefit of doing something that is so brash and original and creative, where Cillian Murphy, I think, is so confined by what, he's playing a real person, and a lot of these things, he gets such subtle, like specific things to operate within, and he just blows it out of the water. So I'm going to stick by Cillian, even though I love Mr. Giamatti, until I'm told otherwise.
And yes, as people are mentioning, he did win the Globe as well. I just kind of consider that right now a non-factor because they both won at the Globes. It's not like either of them beat each other. So where Giamatti has beaten Cillian is at the Critics' Choice, is who I meant.
And listen, we saw Critics' Choice, going back to 2016, Natalie Portman for Jackie won the Critics' Choice. So like, Critics' Choice is, I would put BAFTA and SAG above Critics' Choice as far as,
I agree.
Actual sway.
Well, there's actual overlap. People who vote in the Oscars voting in those ceremonies, whereas not in either of those previous ones. I think it's between these two, obviously. If Giamatti does win here, if Giamatti wins here, I think he's probably winning the Oscar, to be honest. Because if he wins here, he'll probably win SAG and then the Oscar. But I right now still think it's a Cillian win at both SAG and BAFTA. But I don't know. I'm iffy on SAG. We'll have to talk about that next week when we cover it, because as people have also mentioned, Giamatti is beloved in SAG. He has like 10 of them.
But also, like, look at what happened with Olivia Colman and Glenn Close. Like, just because you may be deemed more overdue, I do think in the end, if they've seen one movie more than the other, and they've seen both of them, but we definitely know there's more passion for Oppenheimer, especially in the Academy. There's less passion for The Holdovers in the Academy than there is in BAFTA, I feel. So I don't know. I think, again, I feel people are getting a little skittish with Murphy, and that may be true, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. I agree. I think if Oppenheimer is going to be doing a sweep, I think he's going to come along with it. And then I don't think the order of anyone else really matters here. They did like Maestro here more than I maybe would have expected, but I don't think anyone else really has a shot at it to win. Supporting actress. I think it's just going to be Divine Joy Randolph. This is probably the place where Emily Blunt has the best shot. I don't know. They also love her at SAG.
I think it's tough. But I think that at this point, Divine Jo Randolph has just so cemented herself. This is the Holdovers win, especially if we're not believing in the Paul Giamatti hype. Like, this is where the Holdovers gets its love in an above the line category. And listen, I love the Emily Blunt performance, and she might do it. She might pull it off if people just got a little, if they get tired of Randolph. But yeah, I just think that I think also that her character, it like Paul Giamatti, is unlike a lot of the other characters in this race or in other races of the past. You know, there's not a lot of other performers that you can fit into this type of role, like that we've given awards to. And I think that helps. You know, Emily Blunt is playing a role that, while very good, I'm sure there's a long list of, you know, bitter housewives, that type
she's given
of role.
much better performances before.
You know, Jennifer Connelly won for that in The Beautiful Mind in this category. So like, and the list goes on. So I think that will help Divine Jo Randolph.
Yes. And as Mary points out, SAG is more populous. So I think I agree. That's why the $1 billion Oppenheimer performance from Cillian Murphy will probably beat Giamatti in Holdovers. But we have a Holdovers performance beating Oppenheimer here. So who knows? But I think Divine is just such a strong sweeper this year that I don't really think anyone's going to take it from her anywhere. Even BAFTAs, who don't have the greatest track record when it comes to including people of color. But I think she's just that strong. And I'd have Sandra Hüller a little higher than everyone else has her here, though. Probably put her third, to be honest, above everyone else. But not that order really matters. Claire Foy should be nominated. Tragically not. But Claire Foy. Randolph will sweep. Yes, I agree. And I feel like the Paul hype is from pundits. I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, I agree. I think hence why he won at Critics' Choice. But I will start to believe it if he wins either BAFTA or SAG. But right now, I just think it might be a little bit more of an online going with the buzz kind of thing. I think just winning at Critics' Choice, once again, he did win the Golden Globes, but just Critics' Choice isn't enough for me right now to be like Giamatti's in the lead. Yeah. That is supporting actress. Supporting actor, another pretty easy one, I think, is Robert Downey Jr.
Done. Yep. Good night.
Yep. Number 2 is probably Ryan
as Gosling. Spoken about by Sterling K. Brown on the Graham Norton show, if you saw that.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before where a nominee in the category not only says they're not going to win, but says, I'm going to lose to this person and be happy about it. The only other time that I can think of something similar is when there was in the monologue for Seth MacFarlane, who I think was an underrated Oscars host. I really enjoyed his performance. He does this bit where he dresses up as Gidget the Flying Nun for Sally Field and then says, why don't we just ditch this? You know they're going to give it to Anne Hathaway. And but that wasn't like, that was like an orchestrated bit. Sterling K. Brown didn't have to say that. He was on a talk show and he just openly said it as a fact of life. And so Downey's winning this category. It's over. Yeah,
it's pretty locked up, as much as I would probably prefer any other, maybe not Jacob Elordi, any other performance here to win. But it's his moment. It's his time. He is sweeping. Original screenplay. This is also a pretty easy one. I think this is what continues Anatomy of a Fall's front-runner trajectory in this category. It will then have BAFTA and Golden Globes. If it loses here to Holdovers, then I'd probably switch to Holdovers winning the Oscar, because they did like the Holdovers here. They gave it more nominations than we all expected.
And I don't think the name is on the ballot.
And Barbie's here too. I forgot Barbie was here too, but I still think
I will back you up on Anatomy of a Fall. I don't think the name's on the ballot though, which could hurt, because if they just like the Holdovers, you know, compared to the people that are associated with those other screenplays, I think are more well known. That's what I really again. It just seems odd that like David Henningsen's going to walk to the stage and there's going to be the most of the people be like, wait, who are you again? Like I think so many people, if they vote for it, they think they're voting for Alexander Payne. So yeah, I'm going to go Anatomy of a Fall. If Barbie wins here, then we have to take it seriously that the worldwide backlash of her omission in Best Director did actually gain some support in the category that she did get nominated in. That's just something to keep an eye out.
Yeah. I still don't. I don't think that's going to have as much impact as people think it's going to have. I think it honestly may have a negative impact as well. All of that talk.
Oh, there could be a backlash to the backlash, but DGA is not going to. You know, it's Nolan. Dumb. Spoiler alert. Sorry, but like this really will be. This will be the first screenplay category to come up post the Oscar nominations. And
Yeah,
if she
with
wins
actual
it
members
with
voting
Noah
on it.
Baumbach, then I think we have to acknowledge that maybe there is a lot of, you know, the way that you can't deny that Argo winning Best Picture was helped in kind by Ben Affleck's omission in Best Director, that there was then a lot of goodwill towards Best Picture that he might have had if he got Best Director, but he definitely had an increased amount because of that. So just something to keep in mind.
And Jacob Elordi, I think he'll probably win a different BAFTA award that I don't even know if you can predict here, but he's winning the Rising Star Award, if I were to guess.
I love Saltburn. That supporting actor nomination is so
it's weird.
Weird.
It's weird. He's good in the movie, but it's like, I don't know.
There's and also
Charles Melton.
I love you, man, but Paul Mescal, like, I didn't even like that
Jamie
movie.
Bell
Jamie Bell should have been.
Movie.
That category was so weird.
Better. So much better.
And no,
Milo
was
should have been nominated.
Was Ruffalo?
Ruffalo was not nominated. I don't think. Is he?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No one from Poor Things was.
What the hell?
Oh, excuse me. I already predicted this Gold Derby. Why did you take it away? Maybe I have to click save at the end.
You do have to click save. Have you not been clicking save?
No, I'll have to go back. Well, people have seen what we've done anyways visually. Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to do that.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Holdovers, Barbie. I've got to always scroll down.
Gold Derby's got a good list. I hate doing that. I hate letting Gold Derby do.
I do it too,
but
I like to at least switch, like maybe even the 4 and the 5, just to be like a little different.
I am going to. I'm going to take a chance here.
Poor Things.
Zone of Interest.
Interesting.
It's a British film.
Oscar nomination too.
It got in at the Oscars. I think this is a very unconventional screenplay, but I think it is a very. When you see it, still waiting for Jack to see it.
I know. It needs to play near me soon. Then we'll rank them all.
Yes, it is a really interesting screenplay. It's restrained. It's not as flashy as Poor Things and Oppenheimer, which might be more obvious choices, but I think, you know, let's say we double back and we go with Emma Stone for Poor Things. Oppenheimer has enough. I do think they're going to want to give Zone of Interest something. This is going to be the movie that wins Britain, the United Kingdom, Best International Feature. So I think they're going to want to give it something above the line, and this is, I think, the best place to do it. And Jonathan Glazer wrote it, so you'd be honoring the director as well. And we've talked about screenplay categories being like the consolation for Best Director across the board at different award shows. So I'm going Zone of Interest, but I understand if you go Poor Things.
Interesting. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, to be honest.
It's tough.
Pointed out, I haven't seen it, but I have seen lots of people say it's not quite. It's more of a directory film than a writery film.
True, but the Oscar nomination supports it because I mean, if any, like you just look at Killers of the Flower Moon, the fact that was the one that missed for Zone of Interest at the Oscars, it also missed here for Zone of Interest. Yeah. Like there is an awareness that this is a screenplay worth honoring. I think also the other thing too. I would even give this points just because there's not a lot of dialogue doesn't mean it's not a well-written screenplay. That's all in there. And I think a lot of times too, you can sense what are ideas that are on the page versus ideas that the director came with. You know, a lot of times you watch a Spielberg movie, it's like, okay, this was definitely an idea, like him shooting it in E.T., where you're shooting it from a child's perspective, from their point of view. That he doesn't do a lot of the shots from like an adult's eye line. Like that's a director thing. But a lot of the ideas in the script, a lot of the ideas in Zone of Interest that make the movie brilliant is in the script. So I will defend its screenplay. Yes,
I need to see it still. So, and also this is a nice little thing. Maybe Sideways won adapted screenplay at BAFTA and it was the only nomination it got. So American Fiction could win adapted screenplay in the same way. I also do think the fact that it has American in the title and that it's a mostly person of color ensemble also maybe hurts it at the BAFTAs. I do still think I've switched back to American Fiction winning the Oscar screenplay.
Really?
Adapted. It's between that and Barbie, I think, or maybe Oppenheimer just ends up winning.
If Oppenheimer wins here, then we got to take it seriously. And listen, in the history of movies, of the ones that win that triple crown of picture, director, adapt, screenplay, Oppenheimer does feel like it belongs in that group. You know, if Everything Everywhere could do it, there's no reason Oppenheimer can't.
Yes. So I don't think I'm going to do Zone of Interest.
Poor Things.
Maybe I'll do Poor Things. Maybe I should do All of Us Strangers now. In my dreams.
Do
I'll
it.
do
That way I win.
And then we can put Zone in second because that's what you have winning. Then we'll do Oppenheimer.
Very fair.
I'd put American Fiction above All of Us Strangers. Sorry, All of Us Strangers.
Agreed.
Okay, I've got to click save, guys. We're safe. Cinematography. This is interesting because I do think Poor Things is in. I don't think it's a. I think it's probably going to be Oppenheimer sweep, but I do think there's a world where Poor Things starts winning some stuff, maybe ASC, and could upset. But I don't know. What do you think?
I'm feeling Oppenheimer. I think that there was so much about the presentation and the exhibition of Oppenheimer that I think that goes a long way. Like there was such craft in how the film was put on film and shot on film, the IMAX of it all. And I also think that a lot of times director and cinematography kind of go hand in hand. I feel like you can always see a link between those two. So I'm going to go Oppenheimer. Controversial pick.
Yeah. Poor Things did also win the BSC, but yeah, I agree. I think it's probably still.
The thing I would mention about bringing these things up is that, like, listen, we saw certain movies do very well with the critics groups and then not perform at the industry awards. You know, it's the same reason why just because something wins LAFCA doesn't mean they're going to win, you know, Critics' Choice. Sort of interest. Where were you? Even though it did so well at LAFCA. So that would be my one thing of, you know, caution, which is just because the critics groups and certain groups in Britain did go for certain movies, that doesn't mean that the BAFTA overall are going to go for it. I mean, BAFTA went for, you know, Margot Robbie and Barbie. Isn't it crazy that BAFTA nominated Margot Robbie and Barbie?
I still don't know if she was jury or not. The whole jury thing is
crazy.
But also worth mentioning, Dune did also win the BAFTA for cinematography after losing BSC. So I'm going to agree.
Did you get your tickets? Did you get your tickets?
To Dune 2? I'm seeing it on February 25th, yes. I have to make a trek for it up to Boston, but I will be seeing it. It's the day after the SAG Awards, too. That's inconsiderate of them, honestly.
Wait, the SAGs are on a Saturday?
They are. They're on February 24th.
Oh, good Lord.
I know.
Come on, Netflix.
It's like I need to watch the SAG Awards and then go up to Boston. Like I don't have time to do all of that within 24 hours, people. But yeah, they know Dune is a big awards thing. They should move on, but I don't know. Different topic. But we'll get
tickets.
Reactions from both of us soon.
Oh, for sure. I have tickets for the 25th, but I might be on set. So I have my backup for the 29th in 70 millimeter IMAX. So I will be seeing it in the month of February.
In that week.
That week. And I got my Dune re-release tickets for tomorrow or Friday. I'm very excited.
Did you pre-order the popcorn bucket?
Moving on. We're not no popcorn bucket.
It already has an SNL sketch about it, but yes.
Oh, good Lord.
Moving on. That's so funny. Costume design. I think Poor Things wins here. I agree with that.
Yes. And
I'm starting to think Poor Things can win both of costume design and production design at the Oscars as well. So.
Yes. And we talked about this. We talked about the fact that it might split with Barbie or win both. But if there's one that's more likely, I think we both agreed it would be costume design. So this could be where that, you know, starts to show support. And I think it would be definitely a deserving winner.
Oh, for sure. I'd personally vote for it in both of these categories. I do want to bring up in production design. I don't know if you've... Oh, so why is that not next? Oh, my God. I'm moving to production design. Weird ordering. Production design. I do want to bring up that... Have you seen that video on Twitter of how in the behind-the-scenes footage for Barbie, they edited out the blue screen?
Yes, I saw
to make it look like they had more practical production design.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a little sketchy, in my opinion. I don't know. That makes
listen, it's listen, Barbie. Listen, I'm sure Poor Things wasn't. You know, I'm sure there was a blue screen with Poor Things when she's looking out at that veranda.
Well, they used outside. The volume.
Did they? That's cool.
Poor Things used the volume. Yeah.
So listen, Barbie had a certain aesthetic, and they wanted to extend the aesthetic. There's nothing. It's like when Judy Garland is about to walk into a wall during The Wizard of Oz. You know, there's nothing wrong. This is the technologies we have. The thing is that it felt germane to the movie and the production design that they did build that cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And to me, that would be enough to win the category.
Alter it to make it look more impressive. When I think they should just stick
listen, we all got our tools. in the end, all that I care about is, did it work? Did it achieve what it was going for? You know, it's why I think, listen, you can debate it all you want, but like Endgame, you doing the visual effects to give them their costumes, like that to me is impressive. That, you know, it's even if it's not what we traditionally want, or maybe it defies our logic. Regardless, I think it's a tough thing with Barbie. I don't know if it hurts it. I also don't know if enough people know about it.
As a Twitter thing.
It did very well, you know, getting Margot Robbie in there, and she might not have even been a jury save. Like, she might have been just a top contender.
It's also swept this category.
Yeah, I think let's go Barbie with we have our eyes on Poor Things.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to say Poor Things. Very tempted, but I'll stick with Barbie for now. Interesting. We have Blue Bag Life. Someone in the chat is going to the BAFTAs, and they're nominated for debut among some other incredible films. That's amazing.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's very
I hope
exciting.
You're not up against Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. Well, it's not his debut. Yeah. Our film is called Blue Bag Life. Oh, okay. I'll have to keep my eye out for it. I have not heard of this. Interesting. Okay. That's very exciting. Very exciting. Moving on. Oh, I've got to click save.
And go back.
Yeah. I've also got to go back. You're right. I skipped 2 categories because they ordered it weird.
All right, but we can do these.
Editing.
Oppenheimer definitely winning.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lane, my favorite editor.
I also agree that Anatomy is number 2 here.
It's good. It's very good.
It's very good.
But I still think it's Anatomy of Fall. Like all the people in that. Oppenheimer.
Up in the sky, Oppenheimer.
I mean, I would probably give Oppenheimer, like, if there was any craft that I could magic lamp wish for Oppenheimer to win, even more than score, I would give it editing. That it's just such a well-edited movie.
It's paced very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Bag Life is on iPlayer. I will be doing some research about this after we finish the stream. Awesome. I have to check it out. Have a great time at the BAFTAs. That's very exciting.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay, makeup and hair. Maestro is losing some steam. I still think it's gonna win though, so I'm still gonna predict it.
I think it's just, you look at his face and you're like, that's the makeup.
And you look at the previous makeup winners who have won despite not winning an acting category, like Bombshell, like Vice, you know, who did the makeup in both those films, the same guy who did Maestro. I mean,
it
makes sense to me.
But again, if it was me, I would do Oppenheimer, then Poor Things, then Maestro. And I like
ordering.
Maestro.
Yeah, sorry, I just
as far as personal preference, I think you have the list. Yeah, I think that's the list
sense.
that you have.
Yeah.
Because I swear, it's just Leo's teeth. What else is the makeup in that movie?
There's maybe like some native makeup, but there's not much. But yeah.
All right, we did this.
Score.
Couple more, guys. Couple more.
Oppie.
Oppie.
Score.
Ludwig Göransson, this generation's John Williams. Is it too early to say that? I think
that might be a little.
I think he's ready. I mean, listen, he's going to win his second Oscar in 5 years.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to get up to 54.
And he won. Hey, he did this.
Nominations.
I know, it's crazy. He did This Is America. He won the Grammy for that. You know, with Childish Gambino. He's. I mean, listen, him, Phineas O'Connell. There's you know, there are certain producers and music aficionados. Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Jack Antonoff. You know, I think he's in that group.
Yeah. He is. I don't know.
Hey, he won a Grammy. He won a Grammy over the weekend. He beat out John Williams.
He did. That's
so
true.
I think Indiana Jones.
John Williams for Indiana Jones, but
Indiana Jones won a Grammy for Helena's theme.
Who's Helen? Is that Phoebe?
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Oh, okay. I don't remember the film that well. Yeah.
How dare you forget Helena?
Congratulate. Well, I don't. Did you like that movie?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. I thought it was fine, but yeah. As soon
as they, well, I don't know about that. It was
Flash.
It's close to that. As soon as it panned over the separation agreement between Indy and Marion, I was done. I checked out. Could not care less. I was done. That's a separate thing.
Interesting. It was also only the second Indiana Jones film I saw, so maybe that's.
Did you see Raiders?
Raiders. I saw the first one. That's Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the other one wasn't Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I've just seen the most recent two.
The recent trilogy, the original trilogy is great. Temple of Doom starts.
The one I saw was good.
Temple of Doom is the second one, and it starts with a Mandarin sung version of Anything Goes, the Broadway song, over the opening credits. And then there's like this huge 15-minute chase. It starts as a car chase, and then it's a helicopter chase, and then a waterfall. It's brilliant. It's so good. And then the third one is so much fun. Go watch Indiana Jones if you haven't seen it. And then Zone of Interest.
I will watch the other two. Yes.
Indiana Jones, Zone of Interest. That's your order.
Yeah, that's your Indiana Jones, easier for me to watch right now than Zone of Interest. Yes, and Ludwig will catch up to John Williams if he gets nominated twice a year in 2050. So
it's crazy.
John Williams is just unstoppable. Did we talk? Oh, yeah, we were talking about score. I honestly think Killers is number 2. I'd then put because of Robert Robertson. Then I put Poor Things.
Then Saltburn.
Nominated here is interesting.
It's a good score.
It is. It is. I don't know if I would nominate it, but happy, as someone in the chat mentioned, Spider-Verse got nominated here, thankfully. Yeah, that is that. Clicking save. Moving on to, what is this? Oh, sound. This is very easy.
Oppenheimer, Zone of Interest, Maestro, Ferrari, Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish this
I would love to see Zone.
I know.
Upset. I haven't even seen it, but from what I've heard, it seems like
so good, so creative, so brilliant, inventive, and ingenuitive. I can keep saying adjectives. It's a great movie. I've really come around on this thing. I was so uncomfortable when that movie ended. I was like, oh my God, what is this? And then it's like a parasite in me.
Yeah. We can put Ferrari last. Someone said we should put Ferrari last. We can do that.
Sure.
I have no issue with that. Some people
for Haley Atwell.
Yeah, for Haley Atwell. Some people do think Zone.
It could, but I just think that the loudest movie tends to win. I think if Zone won, I would give them a lot of credit because it means they're paying attention. But I think a lot of times the loudest movie wins, and
it does.
Yeah. And Oppenheimer's sound is brilliant. It's really it's
the
really
good.
On
the feet.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, and there's some clever things with the sound there too. So it would be a deserving winner, and that's why I wanted to tie.
Yeah. I still do think there's a world where Zone could upset at the Oscars, but I'm not going to do that right now. But we'll see. Interesting category once again.
You
Visual
didn't save.
Effects. I didn't save. God damn it! Thank you for pointing that out. Ferrari's in last. I remember that. Saving next. Okay, visual effects.
Oh, good lord!
All the way in last place, Napoleon is winning.
You think Napoleon is winning the BAFTA?
I think it's winning the Oscar. Well, yeah.
I would give more credence to Poor Things here because it got in.
Oh, maybe.
And because Poor Things is a Best Picture nominee, right? Is it? I forgot. Yeah, here.
Yeah, it is here. Yeah,
it's here. Okay, good. I'm just making sure because Yorgos didn't get it. That's right. I don't know. I would go Poor Things, and because this is the thing. What's your reasoning for Napoleon at the Oscars? It's because it's the one that's most likely a Best Picture. Like it has the most crossover, the more likely Best Picture contender out of all of them. But here, Poor Things is a Best Picture contender. So I think if you're going by your own logic, then you have to acknowledge that BAFTA has Poor Things.
I need to see Napoleon win something.
Well, they might win at the Visual Society Guilds. They might win there.
That's true.
But I think, because if Poor Things was at the Oscars, would you be predicting Poor Things?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So I would do that.
That's true.
And then you have Napoleon in second, then The Creator, then Mission Impossible, then Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians has no shot of winning here.
So
Mission
I think
Impossible maybe. Honestly, it could be any of those 4 besides Guardians. Just because they do call it, I think, Best Special Visual Effects at the BAFTAs. I don't know why it doesn't say it here. But I think it includes like practical stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
Tom's Jump would count.
Tom's Jump, the train, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I should give it another watch. I didn't like it at first when it came out.
Fine.
I should give it a watch.
Far from their best. But
it's not their best. Fallout is still the best.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Casting. This is such a hard one to predict. Previous winners are what? Joker, Elvis, On the Rocks.
Did West
Who
Side
else has
Story
won?
win this?
West Side Story's one, and then we're just missing one other because it started the year of Joker.
Let me look.
So
Let me look.
Was. I think if you're looking, oh, what was it?
No, you talk. You talk. So okay, we got Joker. Okay. Joker, Rocks.
Oh, it's Rocks. Okay.
West Side Story, Elvis.
Elvis. Did they skip one year? Oh no. Okay.
No, Rocks is 2020.
So we did name them all without even looking it up. Wow.
I think
if you're looking for a Joker or Elvis type of thing here, I think maybe you go with Anatomy of a Fall because it's all focused on like this one central figure, and you have to get that casting perfect. But if you want to go for like a more indie like Rocks thing, like picking out these lesser known British actors, it could be How to Have Sex. I don't know why those are the two last in this category, because those are what I'm thinking about right now. But this is hard to predict. And the other one was what? West Side Story.
Here's the thing.
That would be here. Killers.
My reasoning is that Rocks would be the outlier, but also 2020 was the outlier year. So I think as we've said multiple times, you can treat 2020 as an anomalous year.
Yeah.
All those other years, the casting award went to a film that won an acting BAFTA. So if we're going by that logic, Holdovers or Anatomy of a Fall, but I'm going Holdovers because everybody, the ensemble of that movie was nominated. Like they all got nominated and might win one or two acting. Like if we're talking about we both acknowledge there's a reality where it could win 2 acting awards. How can you not say that then that wasn't the best casting movie according to BAFTA?
That's a very good argument.
So I'm going Holdovers.
That's a very good argument. I would agree with that. Let's do Holdovers then. And they also like
for posterity, Joaquin Phoenix won, Ariana DeBose won, Austin Butler won.
Oh, besides Rocks, yeah.
So Rocks was
who from Rocks won?
But Rocks had somebody nominated too, which Killers has Robert De Niro. But still, I feel like if they really liked the casting, then Leo and Lily would have gotten it.
Yeah. Would have been a top 3. Lily not being a top 3 pick is crazy.
That's the other thing. I think you look at all those other people. The Holdovers is the only person who the only film that got all of their actors in. Everybody else, Jamie Bell didn't get in. Andrew Scott didn't get in. How can you pick best casting and yet they didn't nominate Andrew Scott? Like obviously there's some discrepancy there with the acting in the movie and how well the roles were cast, I guess. So I think Holdovers. And
it's weird that's number 1.
Yeah, I would go Holdovers, Anatomy, All of Us Strangers, Killers of the Flower Moon, How to Have Sex.
Really? I'll go Holdovers, Anatomy. I think How to Have Sex still has it because Mia McKenna Bruce. No, she wasn't nominated. Ooh. I
just think it's the least known. And there are other British films to distract it. So
I'd do that then. Is that what you said?
I think I put All of Us Strangers above because at least it got Paul Mescal and Claire Foy. It got 2 nominations. So I would
hard to predict.
I would put All of Us above Killers because All of Us got 2 acting nominations versus
maybe I'll put Killers last then.
Yeah, do that.
Let's do that. Right. That looks nice.
That's our list.
And I'm gonna save it.
Is that it?
Save it.
Oh no,
nope. We've still got this little one. I still think Spider-Verse is winning everything.
Yeah,
Spider-Verse got score here. Boy and Heron didn't. I think it's
that's perfect.
That's really all you need.
Good reasoning.
A few more to go. We've got Doc. I think 20 Dates is really just sweeping the season now.
Yep.
That's what I would say.
And I think Still and Wham knock each other out, and American Symphony to an extent. So
yeah, I would agree.
Music docs.
Foreign film. Ooh, probably Anatomy. But
how is Zone of Interest a foreign film? It's from Britain.
But it's not
because they speak in German. But it's not a foreign language film. The title is, at least on Gold Derby, it says best foreign film.
Because visual effects is best special visual effects.
I guess.
So maybe they're missing a word. But
unless they're like, it's from Wales and we're Britain. Or we're England. And that's the difference. It's from Ireland.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I'd say Anatomy.
It's tough.
I think I'm gonna say Anatomy.
I think Anatomy.
I don't know though. This is really close. It's between these two. Past Life
but I think
it's also weird. I didn't even notice that.
I'd go Anatomy. I think Anatomy.
Yeah. I'd put Society of the Snow above 20 Days though. Saving. And moving on to
Best
Lord. British Film. That's a lot of films. I think Poor Things is going to win. But maybe this is where they could honor Zone.
Yeah, I mean,
Zone got submission at the Oscars.
Jonathan Glazer got director, right?
It did, yeah.
And Yorgos didn't.
But Poor Things did get picture, and Zone didn't.
That's true. Yeah, go Poor Things.
Yeah,
it's got to win something.
And then everyone else is happy to be here.
Yeah,
and go down.
Put Napoleon last.
I will. There we go. Wonka. Not a terrible movie, by the way. I
know you saw it for a second time. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Well, it's on digital now, so I watched it again.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I also was like, "All right." It's listen, my and Timmy was good. I just I walked into Wonka and I left feeling like I had seen Gary Poppins.
Oh, okay, it was a little more Mary Poppins than Wonka.
Yeah, which are very different things. Not against Mary Poppins in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, so I didn't hate it. But again, it's my thing with musicals is that if all the songs sound the same, like you detract.
The songs weren't the strongest part, but I think some of them are a little catchy. Like I still got noodle noodle apple strudel. Some people don't, and some people doodle stuck in my head.
Oh wow, you knew more. I just there's also something funny about Warner Brothers making a movie about a controlling cartel that's limiting the creative expression. There's something funny about that.
David Zaslav loved it. Yeah.
Saved.
But we'll see. Maybe he'll get a few nominations at our personal awards ceremony because there's a few categories I'd put it in. Maybe we'll have to see.
We'll let you know about that
soon. Yeah. Rising Star. Oh, we already talked. We can't predict it. I think Jacob Elordi is probably winning.
Yeah.
I love seeing
because he's nominated, so it's it's kind of you would assume
he's the only one here who got nominated. So yeah. Usually
but also.
You
got a lot of TV fans. Maybe Io wins.
Yeah. She also just hosted SNL.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's
he's a Brit.
Mr. Lordy. He is a Brit. Irish. Io is Irish though, so it's close.
That's so good.
Is that all?
How many damn? Oh, okay.
I didn't.
I was about to say. All right.
We don't need.
Well, you do that later.
I'll do that at a different
time. You'll clean house at a different time.
I've lost all of my predictions. Yeah, we can get rid of that. And then let's see. We have a few. I think just because Jacob Elordi, like you said, Jacob Elordi is nominated. He's
nominated and that was a surprise nomination too. So they obviously like him. And Io's been on television, but he's been on Euphoria, and that was one of the most popular shows of the decade. So I think he's paid his dues, and he was good in 2 movies that they definitely saw. I think whether it got nominated or not, people saw Priscilla. They knew of him playing Elvis, and he got nominated for Saltburn.
Yeah, I agree. And the Oompa Loompas look just as off in the movie as they look in the trailer. So
I didn't care. That was working for me. Hugh Grant, man.
Oh, it was. I loved it. It just visually does still look a little weird to me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but he was great. We needed more of him in that. And I can't stop. Yeah, we can quickly talk about because the Grammys did just happen. I think we've both been on the Billie Eilish winning original song like from the start. I know some people still think it's a race somehow. I mean, I don't think it's really been a race ever, in my opinion.
Critics' Choice just went off on some tangent that is not going to matter.
Once again, don't take them that seriously, people. It's
like choice. We have to acknowledge Billie Eilish didn't win, best song for I mean, she might have won that. I forget. There's so many subcategories of the Grammys. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's you're honoring different types of music. I get it, but it's like to keep track of all of the Grammys. It's crazy. But she didn't win like best song written for a motion picture. She won Song of the Year. It's over. She's winning the Oscar song category, and she deserves it. It's the emotional climax of the movie.
It's the best song nominated
throughout the film. It's the best song nominated, and they love her and they love her brother. They're great. They are fantastic. They are winning that category, hands down.
Easy. As Stephen points out, What Was I Made For is the first movie soundtrack since Celine Dion's. Also at the Grammys,
Thank you,
not
Stephen.
getting hugged by Taylor Swift. My Heart
Oh,
Will Go
stop
On
it.
to win song at the Grammys.
Enough.
Yeah, I don't doubt. I don't doubt.
Celine's
Good
okay.
Yes, without a hug, yes.
Celine is fine.
We don't hate I'm Just Ken.
We don't hate it. Just we don't believe
don't
in
think it has a shot.
The idea that they're because I see it a lot, and I think this could,
It's an internet thing.
There's also a possibility this is happening with Paul Giamatti, which is that the race is so straightforward that people are inventing competition in order to make it interesting. And I understand that these people are winning and these things are winning in other places. But like, I feel while there might be something to be said about Best Actor, even though we're pretty confident with Cillian, Best Song, it's over. It's over. It is. It's What Was I Made For?
I know the Oscar buzz boys, I don't think they are anymore, but they used to be on I'm Just Ken for a long time. And I remember telling them, you look at TikTok, What Was I Made For has like, I don't know, like 2 billion or whatever uses, maybe not billion, maybe it was million. I'm Just Ken had like 90,000 or whatever. What Was I Made For is still being played on the radio. I'm Just Ken was never on the radio. It's just
a great song. And it's a great song.
And it's a great song. Yeah.
And they now won the Grammy. I don't know how you can deny like
anyone
Billie
who's
Eilish
not predicting it. Yeah. It does not make sense to me. This is I'd probably have this at number 2 now at this point, the Killer song.
I mean, I just don't
that
think
would be a great
2.
moment,
I think
there isn't a number 2.
This is as clear to me as Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, it's clear as a lot of the categories are looking.
Because the other thing too, Barbie has to win something. This is the one guarantee. It's like A Star Is Born. This is the Shallow of this year. It's the one guarantee.
Yeah, because it could end up losing everything else. Yeah. Let's see. We can quickly touch on. I mean, there's not much to talk about. DGA winners. I can get rid of the Britain background because I mean Christopher Nolan will still be winning, and he is British, so maybe I should keep it up. But we can put that as the background. But Christopher Nolan winning DGA, obviously. Who do you think is winning?
I love that. That's the introduction. This is the winner.
Here's the winner. Moving on.
And I think Celine's song most likely wins.
Maybe I could see Cord Jefferson winning it though.
I don't know. Those are the two, but I don't know. I think that. I mean, maybe Cord Jefferson.
I think I'm going to say Jefferson. I think so because I need that to happen for me to stick with adapted screenplay at the Oscars. Because I also think it's the much stronger film as we saw at the Oscars than Past Lives was. But
it's true.
Celine's song does kind of fit a Charlotte Wells After Sun vibe more.
But there was no equivalent movie for Cord Jefferson.
No, there wasn't. American Fiction is much stronger though, so I'm going to say Jefferson. But yeah, Celine's song making her second film with what's his name, Chris Evans, Dakota Johnson, and there's someone else in it.
Pedro
Pascal, I think.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's tough. It's tough, but you listen. You came to my side on best casting. I will go to you now, Cord Jefferson.
Yes. What about as Black Toad mentions, DGA documentary? What would you say the wins there?
It's tough. Let me look at the nominees again.
I would think it's probably 20 Days. I think that's probably just going to win everywhere.
Yeah, no American Fiction. We have American Symphony, excuse me. We have Bobby Wine, The People's President, 20 Days of Mariupol, Beyond Utopia Still, and Kokomo City. I would say this is probably the best place for Still to perform if it's going to perform anywhere. But I have a feeling 20 Days of Mariupol is probably going to, it's going to help. It's like when Icarus won, it was helped by the public affairs news of the time. People have their mind on that, and they know that movie is saying something important about the times that we're in.
That's true. Yeah, Bobby Wine would be cool, as people are mentioning in the chat, but I don't know. And then what else do we have? We've got, I guess I could pop it up really quick. Where is it? ADG's Art Directors Guild. Film period design, I agree with that. Oppenheimer. Moving Although I don't know, Asteroid City would be interesting, but I doubt it. Fantasy design, they're competing against each other.
Is this the Directors Guild?
No, this is ADG.
Hey,
this is not directors.
Take our little subtitle down.
Oh, that's true. That's true. They're the same letters, guys, just in a different order.
They're the same letters if you're dyslexic.
Yeah, if you're dyslexic, you have a trouble making the difference between them. I think I'm going to say Poor Things.
Sure.
I kind of just want to.
Yeah, because the other ones feel so commercial, so that one kind of has a little bit more tony.
They are competing against each other, though. It's interesting. Making sure to save. Contemporary. Yeah, probably Saltburn. Although that's 2006. Yeah. I don't know how contemporary that is, people.
It looks more classic. It's at an old castle.
It is. I would love Beau's Afraid, but that's not going to happen. Animated film. They do production design for animated films. Or
well,
maybe it's
Spider-Man
in
done.
General, but Spider-Man, yes, there we go. Snubbed at the Oscars. I'll put.
Hey, listen. This is why I tend to like art direction instead of production design, because I think you're designing just because you don't have to create anything physical doesn't mean that the designs. I mean, if the award is for the designs, then Spider-Man had to design their locations. So
yeah, this is true. This is true. Is there anything else that we need to predict? Let's make sure.
I think that's it. I think that's it for now. I mean, we can predict what I'm going to eat for dinner, but that's not as important for everybody else.
What's it going to?
I don't know.
We need predictions in the chat. Yeah, we need predictions in the chat. What's next going to have for dinner?
Do we want to talk about the Grammys real quick?
Yeah. You may start the Grammys talk. Let me get rid of this.
Do we have Barbie ready? Slow. We can put that up behind.
Oh, I can put Barbie in the background. Yeah. My computer is ADG. So slow today. ADG. Where's Barbie? As
you go find her.
Yes, you may begin.
I wasn't planning on watching it, and I don't usually watch the Grammys, but
I didn't watch all of it, but I watched
a friend said that they're on. I'm like, all right, let me turn it on. I thought it was a really well done show. I thought it, despite some of the pacing issues, because I think they saved a lot of Billy Joel for the end and Joni Mitchell for the end. Like a lot of we have 2 awards left and yet we have 7 performances. Other than some of the pacing issues, I thought the show was really fun to watch. I think it also helped, especially for people our age, that a lot of people that we grew up with won Grammys.
Miley Cyrus stole the night, in my opinion.
That was I mean, there were so many people who stole the night. She was definitely one of them. It was such a great moment. Her win, and then the performance, of course, rock star for sure. She really is a rock star. That's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut.
But it's a good song too. Did anybody have the 3D glasses that they gave you with the DVD for the Best of Both Worlds concert for Hannah Montana?
No, not anymore.
Well,
how much do they sell for?
That was such a fun DVD with the Jonas Brothers. Were like the special simpler times. Anyway, I was very happy for Taylor Swift, of course, broke the record, 4th album of the year. I think of course, Midnight is one of my favorite Taylor Swift albums, so I'm glad I think
it's a lower one for me.
It was fun for me. I think it's the one that I go to more often. I like the vibes and I like the production behind it.
Is it your favorite? What's your favorite Taylor Swift?
Oh, I don't know.
You're a newer Swiftie, aren't you?
I'm a newer Swiftie.
Converted.
I've been converted. It's tough because I think it really depends on how you're feeling, how your love life is going.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
Folklore is my favorite, I think.
It's tough because I love Folklore, but I also feel like Tolerate It makes me think that I like Evermore more.
It's close, because Tolerate It is a great song.
So it's tough. I mean, I love them all. I love 1989, Reputation. They're all so good, but Midnight's is definitely up there, and it might be the one I listen to the most, which then might make it my favorite. So we'll see.
New album coming out on my birthday. Thank you, Taylor Swift.
I had Argyle. That was my birthday gift.
Yeah, I get Taylor Swift, and then a week later I get Challengers. So I'm gonna.
It's not. So that was fun, and then Tracy Chapman, Joni Mitchell. So many great things. Trevor Noah, definition. He was as good a host as I think Tina and Amy were for the Golden Globes. He fit the venue perfectly. Really funny. Topical, great host. I loved him being within the crowd too. I thought that was a cool risk that paid off. And then Billie Eilish. I was very happy for Billie. I love Billie.
Yeah,
she might be her, Renee Rapp, Taylor Swift. They're my favorites. So I love that her and Phineas won Song of the Year, and it is, it is my favorite song of the year. So I'm glad it won.
Yeah, it's up there for me. I loved also seeing Victoria Monet. I think she gave a great speech. SZA, I loved seeing her get Grammys.
Who is not Daniela Monet from Victoria, so I've been confusing that name with. Because I'm like Victoria Monet, Victorious. Monet.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, they are connected a little.
I know.
What else was there? But yeah, SZA? I think it was a very good show. Yeah, SZA was multiple wins, very deserved. Boy Genius, it wasn't televised, but they won like what, 3 awards? I loved.
Yeah,
I loved especially the song that they're honoring. Not Strong Enough, great song.
Also, I was kind of happy that Jay-Z mentioned, she's the most Grammys of anybody, but she hasn't won Album of the Year, because I think it. Like, granted, it's like 34. It's a lot of Grammys, or 32. Like, however many Grammys she has a lot of Grammys. But still, if we deem Album of the Year to be the most important award, it's the award they do last. I do think it says something like, why can't she have the most important award of the evening? Like, and she definitely deserves it. So I think that I'm glad he called it out, because he's like, by Eurometric, this doesn't work out. Like, because it reminds me of the scene in I, Tonya, when she goes up to the guy in the car and he's like, you're not the image of who we want to present. It's like, why can't Beyonce be #1? Like, why can't that be the best? She definitely deserves it. So I'm glad. I think it was a fun speech. And I also think he saved himself when he went, sometimes when I'm nervous, I speak the truth. That is a good line.
It is. It is a good line.
Yeah. So Kate Blanchett would be proud of Jay-Z.
She would be. A little long, I'd say, but that's an issue with most awards shows. But yeah,
just because they put those nostalgic. If they put Joni Mitchell and Billy Joel at the beginning of the show, I think it would have been fine. It was just that we got it's like, oh my God, how many more performances are we doing? As wonderful as they were.
And I don't think we needed all of those like pre-packaged like things for all of the nominees. It's like, I think everyone knows who these people are. So I don't think we need to be going over all this.
My theory is that they wanted to do it for Luke Combs so that they could make the Tracy Chapman reveal. And then they did. But then there were some people they didn't do it for. So I was like, come on.
It was weird. Olivia Rodrigo sadly didn't get anything, but I'm sure she'll come back and win in the future.
Yeah. She has 3 Grammys too. So I think, it's the same thing of like, listen, she obviously had a big... I know she didn't win Album of the Year for Sour, but that was like kind of like her, coming out. Like, she debuted and she was, she won. Didn't she win Best New Artist the same year as Sour?
Yeah.
So like, Taylor had Fearless and then had Red, which didn't perform, and then had 1989. So like, you don't win every time. Taylor had Evermore in between between Folklore and Midnight. So. And then, so you don't always win. But I think Olivia Rodrigo is still very talented. I think her next album, I wonder if she changes it up a little bit. Because I do think that's what keeps you in the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Also worth mentioning, Lana Del Rey, still no Grammys, tragically. Brought up on stage, but no Grammys.
Which she was on the album. I don't understand this. I understand it could be a little awkward, but like, I don't know. I think she was on the album. It won. I know she didn't win with it, but like, I think,
it's not like she was forced up there.
No, I think
she's very friendly with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's also worth mentioning. I would have liked to see SZA win. They don't often give it to Black women at the Grammys, but maybe in the future. But yeah, I think a pretty good ceremony overall. Girl power. And yeah, I think pretty much women won all of the major categories. I think.
Oh yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
Woo.
Deservedly so. Anything else on the Grammys?
Wait, we have to do our thing. You have to be Ken. And I'm
or is this going to be a weekly thing? God, good enough. We need refreshed backdrops. But yeah, also I don't know if we mentioned it, but Taylor did make history by first person to ever win 4 albums of the year. Deserved.
Yeah. And I love her little handshake with Jack Antonoff. That's fun.
Yes, it was cute.
It's kind of like the two of our names, Jack Antonoff.
Yeah, you combine them together.
Jack Antonoff.
We are Jack Antonoff together. It's like
if only.
Like what's that show? One of all those people combined to make a giant machine. Voltron, is that it?
I think it's Voltron. You're thinking of Voltron. That's what I think of from Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Voltron. You're thinking of Voltron. So I think that's everything for the Grammys.
I think so.
We should have done it. We would have, I think, predicted them pretty well.
I think so. We probably should have. I wouldn't have predicted Taylor for album though. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be SZA.
The Grammys tend to go with whatever is the most popular. They're the inverse of the Oscars most
sometimes, but sometimes not. Like last year, they went for John Batiste, which I don't think anyone.
No, last year was Harry's House.
The year before then.
Yeah.
Sometime recently, they went for John Batiste, which
recently. Popular. Other than that, we will have some exciting news within the week about when we're doing our big crossover episode. And when we pick the nominees, so be on the lookout for that.
And
we'll make sure to let everybody know.
It will be live, so you guys will get to maybe influence some of our picks. Who knows? If you send in super chats, maybe if it's a big enough super chat, it's auto-nominated.
Except if you super chat the Flash.
We're just like what is it? The HCA. You can buy nominations from us.
Oh God.
No.
Oh, is that the new name for the HFPA?
No, it's what is it? The Hollywood Critics' Choice Association? Aren't they like in a lawsuit right now or something?
I don't know. I don't keep track of all these different.
I don't really either. But yes, we'll be live. Acronyms. You can watch all of us come up with our nominations along with
so stay tuned.
The Oscar boys. Yeah. So stay tuned for that very soon. Once we have a date settled in, I will create a page for it on the channel or whatever. So it'll be up there for everyone to see. Anything else that we need to talk about? Once I see Zone of Interest, which will be very soon, we will be doing an Oscar Best Picture nominees ranked video. Our own personal rankings. We'll do that soon. I am still working on the acting ranked video. It's more of like an edited, like scripted, like clips and all that stuff. So it'll be out before the Oscars, for sure. I can tell you that much. And yeah, I think BAFTAs are next. We will be reacting and talking about them. SAG will be interesting because we'll probably have to talk about it live later on in the week, maybe just not on the 25th because that's Dune Day. So we'll have to see.
Wait, no, is it Dune Day or the day before?
It's on the 24th is when the SAGs are, but Dune Day is the 25th. So I imagine
it's a national holiday.
It's a national holiday.
You'll be in transport to Arrakis.
I will be in transport to Arrakis, exactly. And yeah, I think that's it. Anything else that I'm forgetting?
That's it. Thank you always for joining us.
I did this award season did get a little boring, so I did do on Gold Derby. I saw that they put it up there. I did my 2024 Emmy predictions, which God.
All right. Good night. Goodbye.
1 second. The drama categories there are barren. So if you have a drama series to release before May, you should do it because The Crown versus The Morning Show. The Crown versus The Morning Show.
Really? God, please, House of the Dragon. Push
Loki is gonna get nominated. Loki's definitely getting nominated.
Wow. Strikes, man.
Gilded Age, Hijack, all of these shows.
They should put The Bear in drama.
They should switch it over because comedy will be a little more competitive with Abbott and Hacks will be back in time and all that stuff.
All right.
I don't think House of the Dragon will be out in time though. I think that's like a July or August release, unfortunately. Neither will The Boys season 4. That's also
Is The Idol this year? Oh God. Oh no.
The Idol would be limited, I think, because it was canceled, but it's not contending anywhere.
Is that how it works? If you don't announce it as limited, but you get canceled, you can. I guess then you can choose.
They get to choose at that point, but
they might choose drama.
Yeah, Divine Joy Randolph nominated for The Idol.
She was. Oh God.
Yeah. At least we'll see Andrew Scott and Greta Lee be Emmy nominees instead of Oscar nominees. So we've got that going for us. But
all right, everybody.
Maybe we'll talk about that soon. So
thank you so much, as always, for joining us.
We'll see you in whatever video comes next. So like, subscribe, all that stuff. Goodbye. Ba-ba-ba-dum-bum.